the questioner suggests that if we have a broad spread recession, would that lead to a stock market rout? And the answer is almost certainly yes. A broad spread recession would reduce confidence in financial markets, and I would suspect call into play a liquidity squeeze of some type.
Rick Rule is discussing the potential impact of a broad-based recession on the stock market. He emphasizes that such a scenario could lead to a credit-driven decline in both bonds and equities, followed by a confidence-driven decline in liquidity. Rick highlights the importance of holding large amounts of liquidity to navigate such events successfully. Drawing from his experience in 2008, he stresses the value of having both cash and courage during a liquidity event. Despite acknowledging the uncertainty, Rick hints at the possibility of a recession and urges viewers to be prepared by staying informed, maintaining liquidity, and being contrarian in their investment approach. Let's dive into the video to hear his full thesis.
Perhaps not as severe as 2008, perhaps as severe as 2008. A liquidity squeeze takes no prisoners. The decision to sell isn't made by the portfolio manager, it's made by the margin clerk. And the margin clerk sells whatever has a bid. The good, the bad, and the ugly all get sold. Now, what happens is that the high-quality issuers come back first. The high-quality issuers, by the way, are not junior mining shares. The high-quality issuers come back first. So I would suspect that if we have a fairly broad-based economic recession, that we would have a credit-driven decline in both bonds and equities, and then we would have a confidence-driven decline in liquidity. And that would be ugly. I maintain large amounts of liquidity in my own account for just that event. I understand that deposit interest rates I'm being paid means that I'm actually losing money after real inflation by maintaining liquidity. But one of the best investment years I ever had in my life was 2009, because I went into 2008 with both the cash and the courage that if there was a liquidity constraint, that I would benefit from it as opposed to being penalized by it. And I suspect that there is a strong possibility, if not a probability, that we will have a recession. And as a consequence of that, that we might have a liquidity event. If that occurs, I'm going to be ready. I will have the cash. And as a consequence of the lessons I've learned, I'll have the courage to push the button when everybody else is scared to death, lying in fetal position in the corner. The first answer is I don't know. I'm a credit analyst. So I don't know. I can tell you this, if you are, as I am, politically libertarian, and if you are a credit analyst, you are always more cautious than the broad population, that I have correctly identified 17 of the last 3 share market declines. And I note that however bad things get, and I've thought that things have warranted caution since I came into the market in 1972. The ascent of humankind is the longest unbroken bull market that there is. Have we had some setbacks? Yeah. The generation before us had them too. The Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War. We're not the first group of people that have faced some fairly ugly circumstances. Government gets bigger every year, which is a horrific circumstance. But thus far, we, particularly in the West, live in a culture where there is enough value for individual initiative that a young group of people can commandeer a garage in Sunnyvale and out pops Google or out pops Apple. What that means is that our individual initiative thus far has been able to fund our collective stupidity. And I suspect that 15 years from now, things will be way, way, way better than they are now. You have to get from here to there. You do that, first of all, by education, by investing in yourself, by reading, say, a book a week. You need to do it, too, by being prudent in your portfolio. You need to maintain high liquidity balances, despite the fact that that is costly. You have to own gold, precisely because gold hasn't performed yet. And you have to be a contrarian. If you and I had done an interview, a widely advertised interview in 2020 about uranium, there would have been 50,000 views because uranium was temporarily popular. If we had done the same interview in 2022, it would have been grossly unpopular. If we did an interview about uranium now that was widely interviewed, it would be popular again. In other words, the popularity would vary inversely with the utility.
In this next segment, Rick Rule advises investors to focus on their portfolios and make them as resilient as possible instead of getting overly concerned about the world's direction. He echoes Warren Buffett's perspective on investing as a game with no called strikes, emphasizing the importance of waiting for the right opportunities. Rule encourages viewers not to fear missing out, but rather worry about making uninformed decisions. He stresses the significance of understanding the investments you choose, citing his avoidance of technology due to a lack of a competitive advantage in that field. In essence, Rule advocates for a strategic and informed approach to portfolio management, urging investors to wait for favorable opportunities and to only engage in areas where they have a solid understanding.
And what investors need to do, rather than worrying too much about the direction of the world, is worry much more about their own portfolio and how they organize their portfolio to make it as bulletproof as they can. And in particular, they need to remember what Buffett says. Some of the things Buffett says. Buffett describes investing as a game with no called strikes. In other words, your time at bat is your money. But unlike baseball, if a pitcher throws one past you that you don't swing at, nothing bad happens. So it's okay to let some get away. What you do is you wait for the pitcher, which is the market, to get tired and throw you a nice fat pitch. And then you dig in your cleats and swing. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid of missing out. Fear of missing out is where those strikes come from. Mm-hmm. Worry about the whiffs, not the ones that they throw past you. Mm-hmm. But also, when they throw a fat pitch, dig in and swing. Absolutely dig in and swing. Don't do stuff you don't understand. If you're going to do technology, get to work and learn about technology. I don't do technology, not because I don't think the technology is in the future. I don't do technology because I don't have a durable competitive advantage relative to other participants in technology. I don't know enough about it to compete in that arena. So I willingly give up the profits that could occur to my account with regards to technology if I was willing to take the risk of my own ignorance, which I am not.
In today's insightful discussion with Rick Rule, we've delved into the potential impacts of a broad-based recession on the stock market. Rick emphasizes the importance of preparing for such events by maintaining liquidity and having the courage to act when others hesitate. He advises viewers to focus on building resilient portfolios, echoing Warren Buffett's wisdom on waiting for the right investment opportunities. As Rick Rule wisely points out, worry less about the direction of the world and more about organizing your own portfolio to be as bulletproof as possible. Remember, investing is a game with no called strikes, and it's crucial to be patient, waiting for the right moment to swing for the fences. If you found today's insights valuable, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below.